Hey there, this is indie artist Shanbray Price, and I rock with Queen Silvy on the Queen Silvy Show. Bye, y'all.
Welcome to the Queen Silvy Show. Tune in at 11, good laugh, good vibe, that's for sure. Get smooth with Tim, get smooth with Tim. They have you rolling like you popped the pill. Once you hear the show, you ain't gonna want it to end. Get creative with the sounds you can make with your mouth. Reaching all over the world, Queen Silvy in the house. Award-winning show, got the #1 spot, look out. It's the Queen Silvy Show. 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 It's the Queen Silvy Show.
Hi, this is Joe Mass. You are listening to the Queen Silvy Show. You are now part of the royalty.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, it's time for the silky smooth sounds of Smooth Tim and Her Majesty herself, Queen Silvy.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim, and thank you for dropping in on another terrific Tuesday on the multiple award-winning Queen Silvy Show. It is now my esteemed pleasure to bring to you the world's sexiest granny, everybody's favorite comedian, the Queen herself, Queen Silvy.
Yes, all of that and so much more. I am Queen Silvy on this terrific Tuesday, the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. How you doing? No, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this great world. Today you are in for a super treat of strength. Oh my gosh, this is a queen indeed, who has a story to tell with success flourishing at the end. Smooth, how are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Did you
Queen.
like that?
I'm trying to figure out where you was going, but yeah, okay. I'm doing great, Queen. And how are you doing on this Tuesday?
As always, I'm supercalifragilistic.
Expialidocious, I suppose, is 24/7, 365. Queen Silvy, you're just simply
I already know. Amazing.
Yes, you are.
True that, I am amazing. It is what it is. But you are amazing, Smooth. You are amazing. We have an amazing guest and announcements for today, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. On today's show, we have a author, a disability advocate with us, Latrea Russ.
Hey.
And you're going to love the conversation with her. Also, hey, as always, our hearts and prayers are going out around the world as everything's going on everywhere. So, yeah, there's all kinds of things for us to be in consultation about and in remorse that all these things were going on. And, hey, let's just try loving one another instead of all this conflict and fighting over virtually everything.
Right.
So, hey, all we need is a little peace, and as the Queen always says,
Faith over fear. That's right.
That's right. Anyhow, analytics from last week, the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Poland, Africa, Ireland, France, and Australia. Thank you guys for tuning on.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's that super geekness I'm doing right now. Oh, yeah. But hey, I want you to know, if you are watching this live, Smooth and myself, we love and appreciate you. And if you're watching this later on our archive,
well, our love is everlasting.
Our love is everlasting. We love and appreciate you on this terrific Tuesday, the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. Hey, you do have time to be kind and spread the word for someone else to come on in and get some of this super greatness we have in store for you. Before we get things going, what I like to do at this moment is, that's right, I like to share some motivational words from The Queen Silvy Show to you. For every disability you have, you're blessed with more than enough abilities to overcome your challenges. After all, challenges are what makes life interesting, right? and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Know that your uniqueness is your superpower. So embrace it and let it shine, cause you got this. That's right. Hey, and those are some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. You know, before we get things going, also, it is very honorable that I give shout outs to my deserving kings and queens worldwide, like you, Kinsley Patinio, Queen Jenna, Queen Ashley, Follette Clark, and Kenneth Rawls.
Shout out to you.
To Helen Myers, Peace Myers, Corey, and Casey Patinio, Joan Mercer. Joan Mercer.
Shout out to you.
You like my voice? Okay, me too. Queen Aaliyah, Asia, Tay, Maya, Camille.
Shout out to you.
Camille and DeJour.
Shout out to you.
To my grandsons, Amari, Tyron, Jonathan Jr., and my great-grandson, DJ. Hey.
Shout out to you.
I think I need to really clear my throat right now. Something's just not right. Hold on. Magical, I tell you. To Queen Sonia, Kaki, Shanika, Alana, Brianna, and Precious.
Shout out to you.
Kelly and Ryan and the All-American Boys, Matt and Tracy, and the All-American Girls.
Shout out to you.
This is really great. To Pamela Anderson, C. Shorty, Franklin, Renita, Easley, Gold, Rosa, and Donna Ferry.
Shout out to you.
To my good friends in Africa, Amy Kanema, Webster Rito, Hostile Flow, Hero Boy, and Princess Ariel Lua.
Shout out to you.
To my good friends in United Kingdom, Beth Lambert, Nicola Jones, Bethany Jones, and Kay Cross.
Shout out to you.
To Lorenzo Gabaniza, Sandra and Ben Johnson, James and Audrey, Christine Lewis Anderson.
Shout out to you.
Nana Linda Hartley, Edith Bearhook, Queen D. Brown, Melody Gorbs Dobbs, Miguel Montivon, and my good friend, Joe Mass.
Shout out to you.
Hey. Boy, that was something else right there. Those shout-outs was like working me. But you know something? You are more than welcome to join in. If you will have someone or yourself to be shouted out, we'd gladly do it. 3 days a week, every Tuesday, with the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show every Wednesday with Tim's Tidbits, special co-host Larry E. out of Dallas, Texas, and every Thursday with the Now You Know Show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Tim. As we bring the best in live entertainment, talents, topics, and resources from around the world just for you. Check out this resource, and when we get back, let's get it on. What a terrific Tuesday on The Queen Silvy Show.
All right.
We are back. Hey, you know you have time to be kind and spread the word for someone else to come on in and get some of this super greatness we have in store for you on this terrific Tuesday. You know, born with Pfeiffer Syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that causes the bones in the skull and other parts of the body to not fuse properly. Hey, this is only the beginning for this dynamic queen, sharing her amazing journey of triumph and success, making a worldwide difference, leading and paving the way as a disability advocate, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, 8-time published author, providing job readiness, building self-esteem, and providing workshops for parents whose children are disabled through her company, More Than My Disability. Woo! Live from Wilmington, North Carolina, I introduce to you the one and only Latrea Russ.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
You know what? I am honored to have you here on the show because first and foremost, I would want to say that I'm a believer that sometimes the Lord put people in your path for reasons. Sometimes you don't really know what the reasons are. But if you have an inkling or a notion or a word to follow through, I follow through. And it was to get you on the show and to showcase you through our platform for those in our global audience to know just how dynamic you are. And when I was watching your videos and listening to some of your speeches, Latrea, I think that you reveal a beauty that is overlooked in a lot of people, and that's pure inner and outer beauty. Where's my audience? I got an audience here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. I charge my audience every night, so we are working really good. But, I want to acknowledge that I really admire you, and I'm honored that you are here on the show because, everybody, I tell everybody this, you can't walk in my shoes unless you buy it at a yard sale or the Goodwill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's only how you're going to walk in my shoes and nobody knows. You were born with Pfeiffer Syndrome, and having went through 30 to 45 operations is a hefty load to deal with,
Yes.
but, and you went through challenges with that. So I want you to just start out and share whatever it is that you will. First about Pfeiffer Syndrome, because I'm sure this is the first time some is hearing about this, and what it was like for you to go through this.
Okay, well, Pfeiffer syndrome, as I said in my bio, is a rare genetic syndrome. It causes facial differences. It causes hearing loss, vision loss, and it causes your bones to not fuse properly. Like when we're being formed in our mother's womb, our bones are supposed to fuse in a way that promotes movement or promotes extending of the arm or extending of the hand. In Pfeiffer syndrome, because sometimes our bones are not fused properly, there could be some people that are born with what we call webbed hands. So like my fingers are like webbed together.
Mm-hmm.
This space right here is not supposed to be there. This space right here is not supposed to be there. You're supposed to have, your fingers are not supposed to be webbed together like that. But because of the conjoining of the bones, to the way the bone structure is in my hand, it caused my fingers to be webbed together. Another thing it causes is the toe. Now, I'm not about to scare y'all and show y'all my feet.
I'm not going to show you my toe either. Hello. One of my toes got a name, girl.
But my toes are kind of on top of each other. They kind of overlap each other. So that makes it very difficult sometimes to get a pedicure. But that don't mean I don't try. And it just causes other different things. Most of the issues I've had has come from like my skull area. When I was born, the bones that create your skull weren't all there. So I had some areas in my skull where there was no bone, which caused my brain to be exposed in certain areas. And if I were to fall, I would die on impact because the areas of my brain that was exposed. So most of the operations that I've had have been to kind of build my forehead up and build me a skull. And I've had everything under the sun put in my head. I've had bone from my legs. I've had rib cage bones. I've had bones from almost every part of my body put up here to try to structure me a skull. And that's pretty much how it goes.
You're like a bionic woman.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't go off when I go through the detector stuff. That's the one thing I don't do. I don't go off. I can walk through there with no problem.
So now you would think, wow, that is a lot, and that is a lot. But you had to deal with even more than that. Bless your heart. You are definitely an angel, giving many gifts, and you've taken heed to those gifts and doing something about it because handicap or not, so many people miss their calling or ignore their calling or don't see their potential or gift in life to make a difference. And handicap or not, you are doing that. You had to deal with parents that was addicted to drugs, which led to homelessness at a young age. And that led to being entered into the foster care system, you and your sister. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to just call this woman foster care chick instead of changing it to another word because I recall checking out where you were saying this foster care chick would make you sit in the car when she goes shopping, would not let you eat with regular plates and things. And I just have to say, chick, I would like to see her. Okay. That I don't, and it's terrible that it's people that cruel in the world, but you know what? They're going to have to answer up to that and
Yes,
doing,
they are.
but from enduring countless abuse and neglect within a totally messed up system. Through it all, how did you survive and keep a determined mindset? Because your mindset is very important.
Well, it was very difficult. I'm not gonna say that it was easy because it was by no stretch of the imagination easy. And I think my faith, and I tell people this all the time, my faith is what got me through. I've had a very close relationship with God since I was 5, 6, 7 years old. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I can remember being in the bathtub just talking to God, you know. One day, my mother walked in and she was like, "Who are you talking to?" God. I was like, "Well, carry on."
That's all right.
Carry on. So, with that being said, I relied heavily on my faith. And there were moments in my life where I was going through situations, and that was all I had. I didn't have anything else. I didn't know anything else but to call out to God. And I remember two instances in particular. The first one, I was about 7, I want to say, and I was being wheeled into the operating room for yet another surgery. And I was like, God, I can't do this no more.
Mm.
I'm tired. My body is tired. I physically cannot do this anymore. I'm tired of doing this. How many more times do I have to do this? And as I'm sitting here talking to you and listening to you, I heard God's voice say to me, "Hold on."
Amen.
So some years go by and I'm in an abusive foster home and I'm standing in the corner. I don't know what I did, if I did anything, but their method of punishing us was to stand us in the corner. And we would stand there until literally our legs go numb.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I go back to God again. I'm like, God, okay, look, we gonna have to have a conversation. I don't understand. Like,
Right.
what's going on? Why? What did I do? Because initially, as a kid, you internalize and you think that it was something that you might have done or didn't do that causes you to be in certain situations. So in my mind, at I think I was about 12 or 13 at this time. In my mind, I'm like, okay, God, what did I not do? What did I do? What? And he said the same thing he said to me when I was when I was 7. Hold on. And from that point on, that's what I've been doing. And holding.
Amen. Good for you. It's what a lot of people need to do. It don't matter where you are. Talk to Jesus. Just talk. Some don't say, well, how do you pray? You got to start by just saying something, by
Right.
talking, getting it out. I mean, and it does work. And see, you're an example because a lot of people go, well, he's not answering me. Prayers happen, blessings happen, paths open when they're supposed to. That's where the faith comes in, and you hold on to that faith, believe, and it shall happen. And you are a very good example of this. How is your sister, by the way?
My sister is good. Um, we talk on occasions. I mean, let me just say this. We're a lot closer than we used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And she has gone through her own set of trials and tribulations and things connected to the foster care system.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to take a pause for the cause right here to say this. If you are a parent and you're watching this and you are struggling with something and going through something and dealing with something, and you can't properly take care of your children, let somebody know,
Mm.
because the foster care system is not where you want them to go. My my parents, my mother was addicted to crack and my dad was addicted to alcohol. And I tell people this all the time and think I'm crazy when I say this. But they neglected, they never abused. They never abused. Yeah, they neglected me. I'll say that.
Hmm.
But the level of abuse that I suffered in the foster care system will never, never compare, never compare to what I was with my parents. Yes, they neglected me. Yes, they put their drug needs before me. Yes, they put their alcohol needs before me. Yes, there were times I came home and there was no food in the kitchen. Yes, there were times I came home and my mother sold everything that wasn't bolted down to get drugs. Yes, I admit that. I acknowledge that. But I can never say that she abused me.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And you know that some of the drug use, when you're not in your own frame of mind, could be part of the neglect part, because it's
Right,
all about got to
right,
get that drug and got to do that there
right,
too. I'm sorry that you've experienced that. We all have family members who know somebody that been through something, and you are so true and right. If something is going on, someone needs to talk and say something to someone.
right.
Someone. And it is so very important. I don't know what the foster care system is like. I've heard stories, but I'm gonna tell you, I've
Woo!
never heard it like I've heard it from you. And and taking steps to come outside that box. You know what I'm saying? Because getting through it, you got to come outside that box. You've gained
Right.
stronger self-esteem and more knowledge. You know, with your education. Tell me about that.
Well, let me go back a little bit. Um, in terms of education, I've always been a very, very smart, very knowledgeable person. I love to read, I was always very smart. But people would often assume that because of what was going on here, that I wasn't very smart. And one time my mother told me, she was like, you know what? You fool people. I'm like, how I do that? She was like, because people look at you and assume one thing. She said, but when you open your mouth, if you start talking, you remove all doubt. Any doubts that they may have had about your intelligence, any doubt that they may have had about who you are, any doubt they may have had about anything related to you, when you open your mouth and start talking, it's removed. But I I graduated from high school. I went on to get a bachelor's degree in psychology. Um, I also went on to get a master's degree in education. And me and my husband have this running joke that I'm going to be a doctor one day. And I've always wanted to be a doctor. So I walk around the house calling myself Dr. Latrea.
That's
Because the
all
word
right.
says, the word says, if you speak it, you shall have it. So I call myself Dr. Latrea. And
Well,
my husband teases me about that all the time, like, you're not a real doctor. I said, not yet, but I
hey,
will
you
be.
are a doctor. You know what? That's society that's going to tell you got to be this way to be a doctor. Because when you making a difference, you can be called doctor, you can be called coach, you can be called queen, you can be called all that. Is how you see it, Doctor Latrea. Hey, that's what's up. They even got a little ring to it, like a TV show,
Yeah,
Doctor Latrea. What?
Dr. Latrea,
That's
yes.
what's up. And then all of a sudden, boom, out comes this warriorism in you and this passion and this purpose, becoming a certified disability empowerment coach. You're an advocate. You have actually won up on a lot of people because you've experienced this as a child and you know. You know what I mean?
Right,
But what does
right.
being an advocate for children with disabilities mean to you?
Well, it gives them a lot of times, 'cause I'm a teacher as well. So it gives children with disabilities a look at what they can accomplish. See, a lot of times growing up, I never saw anybody that looked like me. I never saw anybody that had a disability go beyond what society said that they could do. So for me, it's providing children the opportunity to say, if you want it, you can have it. You got to work for it though. But if you want it, you can have it. There were certain things that I want that I went after, and I didn't let my disability stop me. So for me, that's what it means. Like right now, I teach 3-year-olds, and I have a young lady in my class right now that on the spectrum, and I can see the improvement in her since she's been in my class. Because she came in my class, she wasn't talking at all. And now, she talks more. She's more interactive now. So I feel like seeing a person with a disability that may have gone through similar experiences that they've gone through, that will allow them to say, well, if Miss Latrea can do it, I can do it.
Mm-hmm. That is so. Ooh, girl, hats off to you, and I mean, hats off to you and all that you are doing. You have a good, strong heart. I love your passion. In my eyes, to me, not call me weird, but I always say, especially in the politics field, that there are a lot of people. I think everybody has a disability. Who is to label what a disability or disabled is when we are all human? You know what I'm saying? But what do you wish people better understood about disability or about being disabled?
That's an interesting question because most people with disabilities fight for inclusiveness. And for those that may not be familiar with what inclusiveness means, it just means that we have the same rights and the same privileges that other people have, or um, and I don't like the word normal, typical society has.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the same rights and privileges that typical society. I I'm a little like I said, I color outside the lines a little bit. I'm not a real big inclusive person. I'm one of those people that if you are not going to invite me to your table, that's fine. I'm gonna go create my own.
Right?
I'm gonna go create my own table. I'm gonna go create my own stuff. I'm not going to cower down to you. I'm not going to walk myself into what you need me to be in order to be a part of your society.
That's right.
I'm going to go create my own. Now, that goes against the whole traditional disability outlook. Because the traditional disability outlook is, oh, inclusive, and we want to be included, and this, that, third. I never wanted to be. I never wanted to be. I've always been the kind of person that you like me, you like me, you don't.
Amen. I know that's right.
It's what it is.
I'm the same way. You got to accept me for me. I'm sorry. Get in your own lane. I'm doing my thing. You feel me?
Right.
And
Right.
I feel you, and I say this to a lot of people. If opportunity doesn't knock, create it.
That's right.
Do it, baby. Do it. And you, by all means, are doing that very thing. I mean, busy, yes. Busy bee, doctor, okay. Queen coach, yeah. But you're also busy on a mission, doing so many wonderful things, including being a business owner, the owner of More Than My Disability. Tell me about your business, the mission, and the services that you provide.
Okay, so what the services we provide is coaching services. And we provide coaching services to not only children, but parents
Mm-hmm.
of children. Because and we do it in I'm gonna try to say this in a politically correct way. We do this in a underlooked, underserved population, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this population don't does not have the finances to pay for this type of program. They don't have, like, of course, you have Autism Speaks, and you have all these other, disability um, organizations and whatnot. And what people don't understand is it's a money game.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it is. It's a money game. Even if we look at Special Olympics, it's a money game. It's all about who can pay the most,
Mm.
who can pledge the most, what sponsor can give the most.
Yep.
That's really what it's about. So for me, more than my disability, it's not about that. I'm about really helping people that need to be helped. I'm about really providing services to people that really need the services, um, especially parents.
Mm-hmm.
When you become a parent, it's hard enough, okay? But when your child is diagnosed with a disability, and you're like, okay, um, yeah, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that look like? What am I going to get resources? How do I get help? How do I, as a mother, functionally deal with this? How do I cope with this? How do I internalize all of this? And those are the conversations that we need to be having within the disability community. Because a lot of times, what people fail to understand and fail to realize is being a caregiver of a child with a disability is a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week job. There's no breaks. There's no holiday. There's none of that. You're on call 24/7. And Lord, if you're doing it by yourself, then it's even harder. So what I do is I provide an outlet for parents. I provide a way for parents to come and just kind of release those frustrations, release those barriers, release those burdens that they're carrying and caring for their child. Now on the child side, what I do is I give them a role model and I give them what it looks like, what a disabled person looks like. Because as a child, I know what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
Know what they go through when they're getting picked on, when they're getting taunted, when they're getting teased, when they're getting, bullied.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that feels like firsthand. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've walked that walk
Yes.
before. So that's the appeal that I use to people. You could go out there, you can get 1,001 coaches. There's life coaches on every corner now. But can you find a life coach that has walked or is currently walking the road that you're walking? I'm a parent as well. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She'll be 18 in December.
And you already look like you're only 20. How you have a baby? Girl, you a baby.
Everybody tells me that.
So that's a good
But
thing. Wear it, girl. Wear it well. That's what's up.
but yeah, she's gonna be 18 in December.
All right.
And she has ADHD along with some mental illness as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've become a caregiver for her. So the frustration and the stress that comes along with being a parent of a child with a disability, I understand that side as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, and I could be wrong in saying this, but this is how I feel. I feel like parents in those situations would rather talk to someone that has been that role or
Right.
understand
Right.
firsthand
Right.
what they're dealing with
Right.
versus somebody that's giving you a bunch of textbook answers.
Like the old saying, iron sharpens iron.
Right, right. And you know, I give it to you raw. I give it to you real. Because I feel like I only have a limited time with you to get you from point A to point B,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't be coddling you. Oh, it's just so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No. What are you going to do about it? This is the problem.
Right.
This is the situation. How are we going to fix it? What can we do to fix this situation? What can we do to remedy this problem? And I also work with not older, but like young adults that
Okay, I was gonna say, who you
um
calling old?
young, no, young adults that would like to transition from their parents' house to independent living.
That's outstanding.
And I always tell them, I tell them and the parents too. I said, you know what? I said, let me let you in on a little, okay? Your mom is not going to be here forever. She's not. I'm sorry, she's not. At some point, you are going to have to learn how to navigate through this world on your own. Not completely on your own, but somewhat on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And the world don't care about you having a disability. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that it did, but it don't. It don't care. It could care less about whether you have a disability, whether you can't walk, whether you can't talk, whether you whatever. The world don't care.
But I think
All
you really said it in the beginning. The world does care if they can make money from it.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
that's
They
true.
can profit from it.
That
Then
is true.
that's a different level of care,
Right,
there.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But with them, I try to instill that in them. Look, as a parent, you are raising your child for the time when you're not here. There's going to come a time in life that you're not going to be here. And you are preparing that child for the day and hour that you close your eyes. And you want your child to be as self-sufficient and reliant as possible. Now, are they going to make mistakes along the way? Yeah, sure they are. Are they going to do things that freak you out? Yeah, sure they are. But if you give them the skills in the very beginning, then when they do make the mistakes, they know how to go back and
You are dynamic.
her getting up and growing and maturing and becoming, who
Independent.
she'll never be who she used to be.
Right.
You have to learn to be somebody new.
Right.
Now, you touched something on misguided purposes, where you have a person that, harbors a senior so that they can collect off of their disabilities.
Yes.
And the same
Yes.
thing I look at sometimes in the foster system.
Mm-hmm.
It's misguided.
Oh, yes.
Because they're simply looking at it for the money.
That's right.
Right.
Material things, material this, money, and all this here. Man, it's just it's a shame, especially when
It
it's
is.
your
It
family.
It
It's
is.
so terrible, and it happens. Oh my gosh! But is this woman able to come outside that
Yes.
box?
Yes. We worked together for, I want to say 6 months. And when I first started working with her, I guess maybe it's only me God does this too. But God gives me vision of what people look like in the sense of emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So emotionally what they're dealing with. So when I first started working with her, she like a little child, balled up in a corner, afraid to come out of the corner, afraid to speak, afraid to just do anything. And again, my approach is my approach. I don't know how to be soft and maybe I need to learn, but I don't know how to be soft and cuddly and this, that, and the third.
Who got time for that? You got work to do. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
like that's what I told her. I was like, I don't, because she would always say, she was like, well, can you find that little nicer way to say that? Like, you mean a nicer way to say it? Like, it is what it is.
You're right.
I was like, and I told her, I was like, look, I don't have time to call with you. I don't have time to hold your hand and I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You had so rough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, this is where we are. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're working with. Now, if you want change, I can show you how to get change, but it's not going to look the way that you think it's supposed to look. You're going to have to let some things go, let some people go, and decide that you are going to live for you.
Mm-hmm.
That might upset some people, but oh well.
Right? Good for you.
So, yeah, so I talked to her the other day. She finally moved out. She moved out. She's going to the grocery store by herself now. She's getting into those little electric, the little electric scooter thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she's riding that now because she wasn't doing any of this before.
Well, that is great.
And she was afraid to leave the house by herself, and then she was like, "Well, what if I go to the bathroom myself? I got to go all the way back home." I said, "No, you don't got to go all the way back home. You better figure it out. You better figure out what you're gonna do. You can't run all the way back home. You have to figure it out." I said, "Because your parents are not always going to be here. What you going to do when you don't have anybody to help you?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to maneuver through this?"
So you know something? You are really an angel blessing people, and keep being you, your authentic, beautiful, wonderful self, because that's how you're supposed to handle it. It's the doctors who do that. Oh, live here, take these pills. Oh, you take these other pills. Come back in 2 weeks. Come back in 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They coax the whole thing. You could take it to the point and handle it, and everyone who comes across your path has to appreciate and admire you for doing that, keeping it real.
Now you kind of led me down a path, and I don't want to be have. Sometimes Silvy just said, as the Queen just said, sometimes doctors want to prescribe you medications. Do you feel, in your instance, that you were ever prescribed surgeries that was not necessary?
Yes,
Of all those
but
surgeries, 30 to 45 surgeries. That's a lot.
but I think, but see, one thing about my biological mother, she didn't play with you. If I was going to have a surgery, she needed to know why I was having the surgery,
Mm-hmm.
what's the outcome of the surgery supposed to be, how long am I going to be in surgery, and why are we doing all this? Now, when I went into foster care and people kind of stopped paying attention was when, I'm not going to say it was experimental, for me, it was a self-esteem thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like how I looked. So they were always trying to go in and straighten this, straighten that, straighten
Mm-hmm.
this, straighten that, for me to be comfortable in how I look.
In your own skin, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I remember one surgery in particular. I think I was about 16. Um, I went into surgery at 10 something in the morning. I did not come out of surgery until 2 o'clock the next morning.
Wow.
I had lost so much blood. I had to have at least 2 blood transfusions.
Wow.
And then after that surgery, I remember the doctor coming back to me. He said, "You know what? No more.
Wow.
We're not doing no more." He said, "Because there's going to come a point in time in your life that you're going to have to get comfortable with what you see in the mirror.
Right?
And
Mm-hmm.
it's never going to be perfect." He said, "I wish I could tell you it is, but it's never going to be perfect."
Well, at least that was good and honest individual, because
Right.
I know there are doctors out there that will, just so that they can make the money,
Sure
do a
will.
surgery, and it may or may not be necessary.
Yep.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. I mean, let's face it. If doctors healed everybody, would they be out of business? So hey,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Right.
Oh, I'm very touched and moved on your strength, and rub some of that strength on me, girl. Hello, Hammer. You know what? And out of all of this that you do, Queen, I'm gonna say Queen Coach Latrea. No, wait, Queen Coach Mitchell. Girl, you got so many wonderful titles. I don't know. Let me
You
see.
know what? Don't even worry about it.
Girl, Miss Everything. Do you do any online assistance for people outside of North Carolina?
I do. I do. As a matter of fact, the client I was telling you about, she lives in Virginia. So we had virtual Zoom classes once a week.
Oh.
And when I do my coaching, I like to make myself, My husband gets mad sometimes. But I like to make myself readily available. So if I could be doing something, if somebody is having a panic attack or something, they'll call me. They'll be like, "You got a minute?" And I'll stop what I'm doing, and I'll take that minute to kind of talk them out of whatever it is that they're going through.
Dr. Latrea.
Um, but yeah, I do online stuff. I do a lot of online stuff.
So how can
Um,
somebody get connected with you? I mean, for more information as well as your services for More Than My Disability.
okay. You can go to my website www.coachlatrea, and Latrea is spelled L-A-T as in Tom, R-E-A .net. That's my website. You can also go to Facebook. Um, my Facebook page is, well, I have a Speaker Latrea page where I do all my speaking stuff on it. I have a More Than My Disability page, which is my business page. Then I have my personal page, which is, Latrea Anita Russ. Let's see, you can send me an email, coachlatrea@gmail.com.
And then you can reach me and reach me. This girl got a scroll. You are Googleable. When you're
Yes,
Googleable, mm, mm.
I have.
So you're doing a lot. I mean, let's keep it real. You're empowering. You're advocating. You're motivating. You're counseling. You're doing what it takes to make a worldwide difference, which is so great because that is a powerful gift to have, and you're using that power and that gift. Blessings come in many ways. So you keep doing what you're doing, but you're taking care of everybody. How do you take care of Latrea's physical and mental health? You got to get
Oh,
tired sometimes.
I do. And I pray, and I go into my praise and worship. That's my time. That's my refueling because, you know, once you spend that time with God and you're just praying and you're worshiping and you're going in. And it's just something about that time with Him that refuels you. And when you're finished, you're refueled. And you're refueled to go out there and do it all over
Well, that's a good strength to have. Everybody need to pray and talk to Jesus. They need to gain some faith and believe in themselves, acquire goals, have a purpose, get a passion, be kind in this world. So much is happening in this world right now, man. I'm telling you, it's terrible. Terrible.
again.
And we all need to hold on and gain some unity. Can't we all get along? But okay, praying is one thing, and that's a great thing to keep yourself sound, keep your mind mentally stable. But what's free time like for you? Give me some hobbies. What does Queen
Let's
Dr.
see.
Latrea like to do?
I love to shop. I go get my nails done, I get my hair done. Um, let's see what else I do. I like to shop. I like to go get my nails and hair done. Um, I don't really do a whole lot. To be honest with you, I really don't.
You like music? Who do you
Um,
like to listen to?
let's see. I'm very eclectic when it comes to music. Like I love old school hip hop. I love R&B. Like I love Kim. Um, I love Maxwell.
Oh, you
Me
like
and
me.
my
You like
husband.
that good woo woo. They say the right things in their music.
Yes, they do.
you know, I listen to
I'm a
that
big
too.
Tamar Braxton fan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and let's see who else. Let's see, Tony Braxton. I was a TLC fan.
Tony Braxton, your girl though, right?
No, Tamar Braxton is my girl.
Tamar.
I
Okay. Okay.
love me Tamar Braxton. Yes, I
Okay.
do. I
So,
do.
busy girl doing so many things. It doesn't even stop with all of that because as an author of 8 published books, I mean, at what point throughout your entire life did you decide, you know what, I'm going to be an author?
You know what? It wasn't something I decided, believe it or not. Um, it was something that was decided for me. I started writing. I think I was about 9 years old, as a way of escaping the things that were going on at home. And writing was my way of getting it out without having to verbally say it. So I would write. I would write poetry. I would write short stories. I would just write. Um, and it's funny because my mom always used to tease me. Every time I saw you, you were walking around with a pen and paper in your hand, always writing something. Who would know that it would manifest into me being an author?
But that is so
But
great.
yes, yes.
So it's
Oh, it's
therapeutic.
something.
It was not prescribed. You just adapted it as a
Yes,
therapy for yourself.
yes, yes. It was
That is
therapy for
great.
myself.
That is great.
We were talking about prayer, and I wanted to share. This is one of the books that I've written. It's called Intimate Conversations with God: The Early Prayers of the New Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote this book, I was going through a very traumatic time in life. So that was my therapy. I didn't know anything else to do at that time but to write. And who better to write to than God?
Right? Right? Wow, that is so awesome. How long on an average does it even take you to write a book?
Um, well, the last book I wrote, it took me 2 years. And it took me 2 years to write that one because I didn't want to write it. I didn't want to write it. I just was like, God, do I really have to? Like, do I really? I mean, we all find ourselves in that place where we're like, okay, God, but really? I mean, do I really have to do this?
Well, you were patient about it and you did do it because, for you, has writing these books and publishing 8 books changed the way you see yourself?
Yeah, it has in a sense because it has allowed me to know that I have a voice. And for so long during my younger years, I remained silent
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like people didn't want to hear what I had to say, or people weren't interested in what I had to say, or because I had a disability, people just wasn't interested. So, as I said before, my writing was a way to get my voice out and get people to hear me and see me and recognize me for something other than the little disabled girl.
Mm. Okay. It's not what it looks like. I'm not
No,
doing that anymore. My
no.
journey of self worth and purpose is the name of the book. Show the book. You read me something from the book. We're going to have that book posted out and we're going to have how others can get connected and purchase that book. Something special from that book. Give me something.
Ah,
Look, you say all of it is.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This is from the introduction. It says, uh, close your eyes for a moment and silence the noise around you. Now think back to a time where you experienced something that was so earth shattering, it changed the whole trajectory of your life. What did you think of yourself? How did you react to it? Only a split second to decide. Some of you may have had this experience. Some of you may have never had this experience, while others can relate, some may not. Either way, my story is a demonstration of how to react quickly and heal slowly.
Outstanding. Outstanding. How many chapters you have?
Ah, it's longer than I thought it was going to be.
That's all right.
Uh, it's, I want to say, I've never really read it. I would say 10.
That's what's up. Out of this book, from your latest book here, what things have you learned about while writing this book that you think people ought to know?
The importance of being authentic,
All right.
the importance of being true to yourself. And people take authenticity for granted. And it's so important. It's so important to who you are. It's so important to your calling. It's so important to your purpose. Be authentic. And excuse me, so many times we're afraid to be authentic because we're afraid of who it might hurt or who it might bother or who it might trigger or who might get upset with it. And that, for me, that was how I lived my whole life. I lived my whole life not being authentic to Latrea because I was I was always told I was too emotional, or I was told I was too this, or I was told I was too that. And so I need to calm down. I need to pipe down. You're just being too much right now. And this book showed me it's okay to be too much. It's okay to be Latrea, whatever that means, whatever that looks like in the moment. It's okay to be whoever you are or whatever you are in that moment. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Amen. We are not perfect. We are all human. And you definitely have to accept me for me. I'm my own crazy tomboy self. As old as I am, girl, but it is what it is. You got to accept
Okay.
that. I'm so sorry, but you do. You do indeed. So you have 8 books. Give me the titles of the other books as well.
Okay, so I have this one is not what it looks like. And then I have Intimate Conversations with God. Then I have my ability is more no, my disability is more than my ability. No, my ability is more than my disability. That is a correlation that I was in with someone. Then I have green tea and other forms of meditation, which was one of my very first books that I wrote.
All right.
That I have another anthology that I did with someone. I don't remember the title, but it's there. Then I have 3 workbooks that I did. It is called the Bruised but Not Broken series.
So how can someone get in purchase not just one but all 8 of your books?
Just go to my website, coachlatrea.net, and they're all 8 of them are there. Plus, I have a t-shirt line, and I have some other things that I have there available as well. I created t-shirts with different things on them and things like that. Yeah.
You know what? Have you ever thought or considered doing a documentary about your story?
Funny you say that because I just left Washington, D.C. last weekend, and I was featured in a documentary about entrepreneurship and about
Mm-hmm.
the road to becoming an entrepreneur.
Check that out.
Have I ever thought about doing one about myself? No, I have never thought about it. This book, if somebody out there see this and they want to take this book and turn it into one, be my
Right.
guest.
That's fine. Oprah, Tyler Perry, or somebody be like, "Look, we have something that's gonna just totally blow the screens out the water, man,
Yeah,
on the real."
yeah, yeah,
That is so
yeah.
great. I really appreciate you taking the time today, sharing your story, sharing your journey, your success. You're not even done. You got so much under the plate. What's something coming up next that you're going to be working on, like a 9th book? What we got?
Well, I do have one more book that I'm going to write, but that's going to be a data line. But right now, currently, I'm preparing for my first in-person speaking event that I'll be hosting myself. It's called The Voice of the Disabled Child.
Love it.
And it's going to be centered around the disabled child. And we're going to have speakers, we're going to have vendors, we're going to have speakers from the child's perspective of what it's like as a child to be disabled. Because a lot of times we don't hear from children.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear their perspective on what it's like to have a disability. We don't hear from them.
Right.
And then we're going to have a parent section where we're going to have parents come and talk about what it's like raising a child with a disability and how that impacts their life and how that impacts their whole life.
I love it.
And then we're going to have an education perspective of educators who educate children with disability, their perspective, and we're just going to put it all together into um one convention. It's going to be held May the 4th from 11 to 2. It's going to be here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I am currently looking for vendors as well as speakers. So if you have a product that you think would cater to or help the disabled community, I would love to have you as a vendor. If you are a disabled person that wants to tell your story of being a child with a disability, I would love to have you as a speaker. If you are a parent of a disabled child and would like to tell your story in terms of being a parent of a disabled child, I would love to have you as a speaker.
All
And
right.
also, if you are an educator and you work within the special education field, I would love to have you as a speaker as well.
That is so
Feel free,
awesome. Send me some
feel free.
information so I can pop that out and network. Networking is very powerful. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And what I
yeah.
like about you also now, Queen Coach Dr. Latrea, I got that one right, is the fact that you've done many conferences, you've done many speaking engagements, and now it's time to pop out on your own. And I
Yeah,
love that you're doing in the forefront. Now you're doing it and taking in on it. So this is great. Keep me informed on all of that there. I would love
definitely
to
will.
continue to share the information about that. That is very powerful. In fact, after that, come back on the show and let's talk about it.
Okay,
That'll
okay.
be real good. Listen, is there anything else that you want to add? Any upcoming performance speeches or anything that you want to share? You just
Um,
gave me one, and I want the information on that so that I can also pop that out.
okay. No, no, that's what my focus is on right now. Just
Okay.
that conference. So that's my first one. And with your first one, you kind of a little nervous. So I'm just really kind of focused on that one, on getting the speakers and getting things lined up for that and so on and so forth. But outside of that, no, I don't have anything else coming up.
Okay, well, let me just ask real quickly because you have 8 books, 8 wonderful books, been pop a ninth book out. Any ideas about maybe popping a book out and letting people know how to maintain the communication, the relationships, and everything that goes into that?
You know what? That must have been the Holy Spirit because that's what the next book is going to be about.
Look at me. Look at me. I
Yeah,
know. But honestly,
the,
that's
the, the
another
ninth
good
the ninth
interesting
book
thing.
the ninth book is going to talk about relationships.
See? All right.
And I've been married twice. I'm on my second marriage.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you how many I'm on, but I love to talk about the relationships in that book. So make sure you keep me posted on that one.
And it goes into a lot of myths that people have about disability and relationships,
All right.
disability and marriage,
All right.
disability and boyfriend girlfriend relationships,
And that's
and
important too.
how we as disabled people, we struggle to find that connection with another person because people oftentimes get so caught up in the disability that they fail to recognize that behind the disability is a real person,
Right?
right?
So tell everybody how you can be followed on social media and contacted for services as well as again purchasing any of your 8 wonderful books.
Okay, well, you can connect with me on Instagram at Coach Latrea 79. You can connect with me on Facebook at my personal page is Latrea Anita Russ. My speaker page is Speaker Latrea. My business page is More Than My Disability. And if you just type those into the search bar, my page will pop right up.
You're a
Um,
Googleable
my
girl.
email address is coachlatrea@gmail.com. All my books and merchandise is on my website, www.coachlatrea.net. And again, you spell Latrea, L-A-T is a Tom, R-E-A.
That's what's up. And I appreciate you spelling that too, because somebody probably wrote Latree like tree. Yeah.
Yeah, or I-A. A lot of people spell it I-A.
Right. Latrea. Latrea. Hey, that's what's up. You know what? I'm honored. I'm thankful that you were on the show today. I appreciate you taking the time. I enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to having you back on the show. 'Tis only the beginning of greatness, indeed. And yeah, we're going to post that out when you send that information about your coming. It's in May, right?
Yes,
So that's giving people a lot of time to make plans and get involved with that there as well. So send me that information. We'll be in contact with you. This is a great day to have a great day. Every day you wake up, it's my birthday. So I'm finna go and get me some cake. Yes. So, all right, check out this here little brief resource, because we do bring the best in live entertainment, talents, topics, and resources from around the world. Check this out, and when we come back, Smooth gonna tell you something.
Yeah, that was enjoyable.
I feel so
Yes, it
great,
was.
honored, and blessed, and you should be as well. I mean, Latrea, hold it, Coach, Queen, Doctor Latrea. She's doing some fantastic things, fantastic worldwide, making a huge difference. If you are disabled, or if you know someone who's disabled, need a little guidance, some information, some coaching, check out Latrea. Russ.
There's a lot of adversities that life can throw at you, and she's seems to have hurdled over top of all of them and teaching other people how to do the same thing.
Absolutely. You can't find gyms with gifts and blessings like this everywhere. We're honored to present her to you via the platform, but go on out there on your own and get in touch with her. Let her know what you think about all that she had to share today on the show. That would be great information. That would make a person feel good. You know what I'm saying? Gives a little feedback. But if very serious on the fact that if you are a parent or if you are someone disabled, then you have a question, something you want to know. I always say, if you want to know, ask. Well, Latrea, Russ is the one that can help you, guide you, give you resources that you need. Someone that's out there and that's there for you. And that, by the way, I want to thank you. I thank you all for taking the time, being here, listening in, watching in on some super greatness that we always provide for you every Tuesday with the multiple award winning The Queen Silvy Show. It doesn't stop. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That's Tim's Tidbits, special co-host Larry E. out of Dallas, Texas. Some good stuff, right? Always some good stuff that he's going to tell you. You got to come and see it. Come on in and get it. But, you know, that's in the evenings. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Do check your time zones, but join us for there. And then come on back on Thursday, because it's the Now You Know Show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Timmer, giving you inspirational, encouraging, motivating, musical, Christian, all wrapped up of super greatness from some great kings and queens, presenting it to you from the heart. And that is in the evening, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, do check your time zone, but join us if you will, because we always bring the best in live entertainment, talents, topics, and resources from around the world just for you. Smooth, tell these good people how we can be followed.
Simply Google us and follow us on your favorite platform, people, whatever that might be. We're pretty much on all of it. And the easiest way to do it is go to YouTube and YouTube search engine, type in The Queen Silvy Show. You'll get results of all of our shows as well as some other things that we work on.
Yes.
While you're there, please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Pass the word around if you will. You know it's Tuesday. You know I'm fasting. I've only had a cup of tea. And now I'm ready to go and smash my face.
You've been eating all day long time.
I am going to eat right now. And with that said,
till next week, same Queen time, same Queen station. We shall holla. Bye-bye.